Hello and welcome to my channel. I'm Sam Clift and I'm an art and mindset tutor, and my aim is to help other artists to grow in skills and confidence and to really feel the benefits that regular creative practice has on health and well-being. In today's video I'm going to be talking about fear. Now that can come across in many different ways: imposter syndrome, fear of failure, even fear of success. But what it all comes down to is being afraid of possibly what people think of you, afraid of something not going the way we want it to. So what actually is fear and what can we do about it? Now, fear is actually really important because it's there to keep us safe. At the end of the day, our 2 million-year-old brains are not there to make us happy, they're there to keep us safe. So it's a primitive side of the brain that if there's a potential danger happening at any time, then it's really important that the body and the mind have a very, very quick response. Now, you may have felt the physical side, the beating heart, the clammy hands, churning stomach, all of these things, and you may have heard of the fight or flight freeze response, which is deep down in the amygdala, the middle part of the brain. And it's really great if something's imminent, if something's dangerous, if we were just about to get hit by a car, or if there was a dangerous animal roaming around in your garden that could potentially attack you, then the fight, flight, freeze response is really important, because what that makes you do is either fight it off or the ability to run away as quickly as possible and to get to safety. Now, the problem is this kind of translates into modern day life. So we don't have that imminent danger. We don't have the car that's just about to hit us or the animal in the garden. We have it when something new comes up, when we come out of our comfort zone, for example, into the stretch zone. It feels scary. It feels uncomfortable, which is why it's called the comfort zone. And so that response is exactly the same as if we were put in imminent physical danger. It's all the same feelings. It's the racing heartbeat, the kind of tightness in the back of the throat, maybe tightness in the chest, clammy hands, that real physical feeling of nerves and butterflies, and all of those quite uncomfortable feelings that we get in a physical way. The problem here is that we don't then have the I am safe end of it that actually calms the nervous system down and creates that state of all is well, all is calm again. We don't seem to get that with modern day life. And so what happens is the cortisol and the adrenaline is pumping around the body, and the mind is kind of saying, well, there must be something really quite scary going on. And so it's going to create that fight, flight, freeze response, and it's going to be ongoing, and you're going to get those anxious feelings, and that can last days, weeks, months and months and months, and it's a really horrible feeling. And the more the physical response is, the more the brain's going to be saying, well, there must be something wrong. I need to keep reminding this person that that danger is imminent. It catastrophizes. It always thinks of the worst case scenario. It will always keep reminding you. So that's when you get that internal dialogue and the cycles that end up spinning and spinning and spinning. So what can we do about that? Is there any way that we can control our physical and kind of mental response to fear? So it's not a bad thing, and I think fighting it and treating it as, a bad emotion only just adds to the anxiety around it and the judgment. So it's not a bad thing. It's there. It's got a really crucial, important role. But it's when it takes over that it becomes a problem. So there is something that we can do, and that's to stimulate the vagus nerve. Now, the vagus nerve is a massive nerve that stems all the way from the brain down through the body, connecting to all of the organs. And if anxiety is taking over and cortisol and adrenaline is flooding around the body, then a very quick way to calm that down, to calm down that stress, emotional, anxious response, is to stimulate the vagus nerve. Now, the vagus nerve is part of the sympathetic nervous system, and what that does is it creates a level of calm within the body and the mind. So what it does is it's telling you that all is well, all is fine, you are safe, and therefore you don't need to keep this response going. So what can you do to stimulate the vagus nerve? Well, there are a few quick ways that you can do that, and actually having a warm shower or a warm bath is one quick way that you can stimulate the vagus nerve and create that level of calm. If you've ever had a hot bath, and I do this regularly, you step into that water, the water does something to calm you down, to relax you, you breathe more deeply. Just the feeling of warm water on the skin, it slows down the breathing, and what you're trying to do is recreate the way that you are when you're calm. When you're anxious, you tend to speed everything up. Your breathing speeds up. It's shallow breathing, not lovely deep breaths. Everything seems to go at a quicker rate, and you end up in this kind of like runaway train. situation. So what you're doing is trying to trick the body into acting as though all is well, all is calm. So warm water, a shower or a bath, and deep breathing, which kind of goes hand in hand. So you can breathe nice and deeply, and what you're doing is that you're doing the opposite of what you're doing when you're anxious. So you're taking long, slow, deep breaths, and you'll find that that will calm you down, it will slow you down. And slowing down and enabling yourself to breathe is really important, because what happens is when we're anxious and stressed and we speed up, then it just gives that signal to the brain and the body that we are in danger. We're in that kind of fight or flight all of the time. And it's important that we don't stay in that response, because it's really not good to have those feelings ongoing. The other thing you can do is get out into nature, take a walk, have a little walk around the garden. And what you'll find is that you'll naturally start to breathe a little bit more slowly, a little bit more deeply. And as you take in nature and look around you, it has this calming effect. It's a very, very scientific thing. It has a real calming effect on your body. It stimulates the vagus nerve and it tells the brain that all is well. And this is definitely something to practice. It's not something that you can do once and then it's done. It's something that probably will take a little bit of time to begin with. It might take a few days or a week in order to feel like the anxiety levels are really lowering. But as time goes on and you start to practice this, it will get quicker and quicker and quicker. And what I find now is when anxiety strikes and I get those familiar feelings, I can calm my body down. I understand it, I know what's happening, and then I can take these steps to really start to slow down. And when you know the science behind something, I think it's easier to feel like you have some control, that there's something that you can do about it, and you don't have to let it take over your life. You can take back control of it. It doesn't have to completely rule you. It's just a very, very natural response to fear, but it's how long we stay in that response that's really important. I hope you found this video helpful. If you want to learn a little bit more about hypnotherapy, then I'll put the link to my website in the description box. And I do have an art and mindset membership, which you might be interested in. We have regular hypnotherapy sessions and interactive sessions, all to do with art and mindset, because I think they just go so well together. So I will leave that in the description box as well if you want to check out the information page. And please do like and subscribe if you enjoyed this video, and possibly share it with your friends. And I really look forward to seeing you next time. Bye for now.